that's a tremendous looking trophy.
Welcome to the number one PlayStation podcast in the Oceanias with your only PlayStation playing host, Dylan Blight. Today joining me also, Ciaran Marchant.
I played the PlayStation for like 3 hours on Saturday, thank you very much. I had to
Did you
take
play
a break.
another 3 hours of God of War?
I did. I put another 3 hours into God of War. I had to wait for stuff to happen, so I was like, I'm just going to play God of War. So, take that back, Dylan.
What'd you play after that?
I played more Overwatch, but I still played the PlayStation within the week.
Also joining us, Nicholas Pryor.
Hello.
What'd you play this week, Nick?
IL2.
Yep, what's that?
Flight Simulator.
On?
PC. Sorry, I played Overwatch as well. Till I wasn't allowed to play anymore.
Yeah, did you get kicked off the team again?
I did.
Yeah, I saw this. I saw your title like, oh, with Lord and Pryor joining on Twitch, and I was like, yeah, okay. See how long that lasts.
It lasted for an hour, and then people started leaving, and I was like, I'm playing comp then.
Oh, dear. All right, well, we're not going to be talking about flight sims or Overwatch this week. Surprise, surprise. We're going to be talking a bit more about E3 stuff.
What, you mean how
'cause-
PlayStation fucked us?
Yeah, basically how PlayStation fucked us and all sorts of other things. I swear, at the same time that I'm annoyed that all the leaks started directly, like pretty much a day after we released the episode, it's kind of funny at the same time.
It's,
You know? Like, it was perfectly timed.
We were like, you know what would be a great idea? If we preemptively strike and do our predictions like a month out. Let's preemptively strike, month out, do the predictions, get them done so we haven't seen anything, we haven't got any, like, excessive knowledge. We've just got it all covered. And PlayStation just, you know, they were like, suckers.
Yep. It wasn't even like a couple days ago. It was pretty much the day
Next
the
day.
episode posted. They're
Next
like,
day.
hey, here's 1,000,001 leaks from Walmart or whatever, which we'll get to. But it starts with that and then travels on. The first thing I want to talk about to do with E3 is Sony's whole weirdness with the E3 conference. So we'll jump into and tackle that first, which, nicely enough, only about half an hour ago they put out a thing on the official blog post page. So pull that up on my phone. So this is what happened. The story started a couple days ago when Sean Layden on the official PlayStation podcast, I think that's the name of the podcast, Sean Layden, president of Sony Interactive Entertainment, talked a bit on the podcast about the E3 plans this year and just was like, oh, we're just going to show off a bunch of games. We're going to show Jeff Stranding, Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man, Last of Us Part 2. Going to show off all these big games. Oh, yeah, we'll talk about third-party stuff a little bit. Everyone on the internet kind of freaks out. They're going, oh, are they doing another one of their stupid PSX event type things? Which was a bunch of them just bringing out people to talk on a couch. It wasn't really a big expo. So everyone on the internet starts freaking out. They're like, no. We'll give you more details in a couple days. We'll put up a blog post page. The blog post page, which I have in front of me, gives you sweet fuck all more detail. It says, blah, blah, blah. It's been an exceptional year, blah, 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 blah. 2018 is just getting started. To ring in a new year of an incredible gaming experiences, the PlayStation team is planning a new E3 showcase. And we're inviting all our closest friends, and that means you. Join us, blah, 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 this time, this day, blah, blah, blah.
Hold on.
In a rare break from tradition, we wanted to give you an early glimpse at what's expected to heading into our showcase on the 12th of June, 13th in Australia. PlayStation's worldwide studios will be at E3 in full force to provide you an exclusive look at 4 upcoming titles: Death Stranding from Kojima, Ghost of Tsushima from Sucker Punch, Marvel Spider-Man from Insomniac, and Last of Us Part 2 from Naughty Dog. Of course, we'll have stellar announcements from third-party publishers and independent developers who are all busy making innovative new experiences that will have your heart racing and emotions soar, whether you're playing on PS4, PS4 Pro, or PSVR. Thoughts?
My biggest takeaway is I'm nervous that there's no Days Gone. Like, why are they already pushing Last of Us, which is arguably a very similar product, and pushing Days Gone out of the public consciousness?
Well, I suppose the Days Gone thing is they did the E3, not the Game Informer cover, and they've put up the first hour of the game, like just the full first hour.
Oh, have they?
Like, here it is. Yeah, it's like, you want to look at the first hour? Here it is. Spoilers if you want to watch it. I haven't watched it personally because I don't want to watch the first full hour of that game.
If anything, this tells me that they're not confident in it. Maybe not as a game, but as a as like a commercial success.
I think they were pretty adamant about, in the video I watched, the behind the scenes one, with them talking about the cover story and everything, that they were like, look, we're really excited about a game, but we feel like not enough people are talking about it and not enough people understand what this game is or care about it. So we're just here to give you a bunch of information to get it out there, to get people talking. Like,
yeah.
They seem pretty aware of the zero talk factor on that game, or the zero care factor. So they're just going, hey, instead of like putting out a trailer or like 15 minutes of gameplay at E3, here's a fuck ton. Here is stories and hours of video, blah, 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 blah. And if this doesn't get you excited, we're fucked.
Well, I haven't seen anyone talking about it, so I don't think it's helped at all.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw a few people talking about it that I follow. Given they are mostly all people who work in
Yeah.
the industry to some degree, even if that's people like us, but like the general Joe gamer person, whatever. No, I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen an article on simhub.com.
The fuck is simhub.com?
What?
Sim website. It was a
Oh,
joke.
it's a simulator.
Oh.
Also, where the fuck do their calendars start? How is May the beginning of the year?
Isn't it like I don't know.
Maybe it's their Sony year. Like their Sony year
physical-
starts in May. Some businesses have their own years where they're like, we'll do what we want. Also, which you fuckers were like, no, we're not going to see any of Death Stranding at the
I
conference.
never said that.
Fucking
I said
Ash and
that.
Dylan were. They were like, we're not going to see any of it. It's going to be not there. And I'm like, yes, it will be. Every other time we've been like, no, it won't be there. Oh, guess what's there with fucking 20 minutes of footage? And you're like, just go make
I'm
it.
quite surprised.
And I'm quite fucking excited.
Fuck off, Nick.
I'm quite excited for another 10-minute short film. You know, I color me intrigued.
It's all part of the game, Ciaran. It's the metagame.
Oh,
Look,
it's
I'm not
no.
angry that I was wrong. I'm happy to see more of that game. I'm cool. I'll watch another short animated film with Troy Baker or whoever the fuck they bring out this time's character.
Do you feel like, so I used to think E3 was like Christmas. Used to, like, you'd wait up, you'd watch it, you'd be full of surprises, you'd feel disappointment. A PlayStation trying to take that Christmasness out of E3?
Well-
Like, your parents the night before just hand you a piece of paper with an itemized list of presents.
Here's what you're getting.
Here's what
Funny
you're
you should say
getting.
that. Because this year I am the least hyped for E3 than I've ever been. Because of already knowing so much going into it. The whole part of E3 for me is not knowing.
The surprises.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why it's the gaming of E3. The surprises. You get
Yeah.
hyped for the trailers and everything.
Yeah, which is... Do you think, a PlayStation at the point where they're like, we are so far ahead in this console race, who the fuck cares? Do what we want. Like, we don't have to fight for this anymore. We can just kind of...
Well, yeah, my thing is, when Sean Lane was on the podcast and I saw the news story everywhere about him saying this stuff, I'm like, look, he was on a podcast, like, I'm going to wait for an official word of what... I don't want to judge everything just based on that. Then they put out the official blog post, and I'm still like, what are you doing? Like, does that mean there's going to be zero surprises? Are you trying to say it's like your PSX experience? I look in the comments section and people are reacting very much the same. Like, there's a bunch of people basically saying the same thing, which is, I haven't put in for time off work yet. If you're only doing what you did at PSX, I'm not putting in for time off work.
Yeah.
Can you please tell me if this isn't a real event, at which point I'll put in for time off work, or if it's not, I don't give any fucks.
Well, the thing is, like, I can understand why they did that at PSX. Like, I personally didn't like it, but that was a platform to do it. But if they try to pull that at E3, that is going to go down as one of the worst decisions in E3 history, I think.
The thing that
I think it'll be terrible, yes.
I was like, I didn't enjoy the PSX thing either. But when you guys talked to me about it, or when we talked about it on the podcast, it was very much, hey, it's PSX. Like, they've just had Paris Games Week a couple weeks ago. This is more of a, a PlayStation-centric kind of thing, so let's do something different. But I hope they didn't see that at PSX and be like, oh, some people like this. Let's do it again for E3. It's like...
It's a complete wrong place to do it.
I'm here for a Tony Stark style show. Like, I want like just over the top craziness with your show, an orchestra, maybe some fireworks, like just, you know.
And especially with them being the last ones, you can't have like they're supposed to go out on a bang. Like this is it. This is the crescendo of the whole E3.
It really will be like, 'cause I didn't mind the PSX thing personally because I got the message ahead of time and I said it at the time. I was like, PSX, they said they weren't going to do much here. Yous all didn't believe them, even though they clearly said that this is what they were doing. And I was like, PSX, they're trying to be like the PlayStation family. Let's just all sit down and talk. I'm like, this is fine for this event. I agree. If they try and pull anything like that shit at E3, it is a terrible decision. It'll be just, everyone will hate it there. Everyone will hate it online. Everyone, the general tech pundit, which is what we was talking about the other week, how like it's not just gaming media there. It's just like other random places that just cover random tech stuff or general news outlets and whatever else because it's a big media show. Will just be like, what? Like, show me stuff that can write news stories about. Like, you know, not 20 minutes of each of these 4 games, then a 10-minute segment on random indie game here, there, whatever. Yeah, this is coming. So it will be interesting. I mean, if it's, hey, here are these 4 games we're showing, there's still going to be some surprises and other bits and pieces, but we just thought since, just to get you a bit more hyped, we'll just let you know on the way in that, yes, we're showing Death Stranding. Yes, we're showing The Last of Us 2, just so you know. But that message is a lot different if you're trying to say, these games are going to be here. You want to watch our conference. That's a way, they wrote the message completely wrong if that's what they're trying to go for.
It's reminiscent for me of old PlayStation, how they're so arrogant and they think they can do whatever they want and get away with it.
Which is weird.
It comes off to me like it's very much... Oh, if they'd written it like, hey, these are some of the games that are going to be appearing during our showcase, blah, 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 I would have been like, cool, it's kind of expected that these games are going to appear, awesome. But the way that the post is written and the way Sean Layden's message has been, it's kind of like, this is what's at our at our event. Like, this is what's happening. And you're like, oh, okay, so there's not anything else to look forward to?
Yeah. It makes sense to a degree because we know what every first-party studio from Sony is working on currently.
Yes.
And everyone has either released something like within a very recent period, so you're not going to expect to hear from Guerrilla or anyone like that anytime soon, or you know, we just had God of War come out, of course, or a game's about to come out, or we know what it is. Like, we know Death Stranding, we blah, blah, blah. We know it's Sucker Punch, Spider-Man, etc., etc. So it makes sense to a degree just to be like, we're not going to have a game come out from Santa Monica Studios. You're not going to have a game come out from Guerrilla. We're showing these games. But the message is just weird. And that's what I'm saying. The people in the comments section, you can just get the general feel of everyone going, I don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
At all. Doesn't make any sense.
And the other thing, didn't they say there's going to be no hardware?
Yeah, that makes sense. They're like, there's going to be no hardware. They just want to squash any PS5 rumors straight out the gate. I don't care if they want to squash.
But that also means there's not going to be any like VR stuff, like VR, like new controllers or anything.
I honestly don't. As much as I want new controllers, I really don't think there will be new ones until the next iteration.
I had high hopes.
I have hopes too, but I highly doubt it'll be a thing.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting because this doesn't ruin E3. I want to say this: even if they do this, Sony's press conference will just be like 1 out of 10, terrible straight away. Because I'm like, this is not what you want from an E3 conference. I will just talk shit on it if this is what they do because it'll just be bad. Even if Death Stranding, they do show 20 minutes of Death Stranding and it's amazing. It'll be like, that Death Stranding stuff was amazing, yeah. As a conference overall, terrible. You know, like looking at it from an outside perspective. I'm still pumped for E3 though, in general, because there are a lot of conferences to come before we get to Sony.
Yes.
And we've even gotten a Square Enix one this year that's been added. That's highly intriguing, and we didn't know about that one. We recorded the podcast last week and did E3 predictions either. So there's another conference added into the swing of things. So I'm still excited for E3. E3's not ruined for me. Last year was still great, so there's no reason for me to be turned off this year. And I'm not going to let this one little news story just creep up and go, well, E3's ruined because Sony ruined it.
There's only, for me as well, like Sony's probably out of any of the conferences, Sony is in the hardest position of them all, because in previous years they have put on the best showcases out of anybody. So the pressure's on them to continue to perform and to continue to present these conferences and these showcases that blow us away, that all the other showcases, nobody really has any giant expectations for. It's just kind of, they're instantly ahead because people are going to be surprised by what they've got, where Sony, it's just expected that this is going to be good. You can't maintain that kind of, like...
want Sony... obviously, I don't say I'm a Sony fanboy because I play and do everything, but Sony's my boy, you know.
Yeah,
PlayStation's my boy. So I want them to do well every year. But at the same time, I am excited for Nintendo's this year. I'm excited to watch Microsoft's just to see if they can pick their game up at all. I'm excited for Ubisoft just because of some properties they might be coming out with. I'm excited for Bethesda because they're probably going to show off cool... Well, we'll talk a bit about that in a little bit, but Bethesda's probably showing off some cool stuff this year. I'm excited for Square because they're probably going to have Kingdom Hearts and maybe Final Fantasy 7 now, which is weird because they've got their own conference. So it's when I'm like, I'm excited for literally everything else. Try and whatever, Sony. You'll break my heart, but at the same time, whatever. I'm not watching that PC showcase crap though. Fuck out of here.
Fuck out of here.
We got a new AMD 790 TWIP that we'll talk about for 15 minutes. I don't fucking care.
Yeah, no one cares about AMD.
Ooh, sick burns. All right, moving on to the next E3 story. So Walmart Canada leaked a bunch of coming soon titles on their website. Basically the day after we recorded, I think. And some of them are titles that make sense or that you knew about, and then hidden a bunch of the stuff. It's like, wait, what? Wait, what? So we're gonna go through, got a list of them here, and we'll kind of just talk about them one by one. And we're gonna have question A: is it real? The game. Question B will be: do you think that if it is real, do you think it's coming in 2018 or 2019? Because, I mean, if there's a listing, I'm kind of presuming it's pre-order for at least end of 2019, or else it's a bit silly. This isn't EB Games, this is Walmart, you know? They don't have pre-orders up for
Ever. Yeah, okay.
forever like EB Games do.
Yep.
All right, so let's start with the first one, which was Assassin's Creed. That's all it said.
That's next year. It's got to be next year.
You think it's next year's? Because Ubisoft was kind of on this. Now we're on this like 2-year cycle now. We didn't take 2 years off and go straight back to the one every year.
I think they'll announce it maybe. They'll talk about it this year. But it won't be till next year.
Well, what usually happens with them is they usually announce them at E3 and then they're out at October or, you know, whatever. Oh, no, let's be real. Usually they're leaked before E3, announced at E3, and then out in October.
Was
so if
Origins
they're going to announce
like
it... Hey?
Was Origins like that?
Yes.
Origins was leaked before E3, announced at E3.
Yeah, okay. I remember the leak. I just couldn't remember when that was or what time frame that was. But I don't think they'll rush the gun again and freaking go back to a year cycle.
I reckon they will be. I reckon they go, we took a year off. Everyone's had their rest.
Everyone loved
All right,
Origins.
here we go. Yeah.
What?
I'll be sad if that's... I will be really sad if that's what's happened.
Be very disappointed.
I wouldn't put it past them.
I wouldn't put it past them either. I will just be very disappointed. If we're going to go with the idea that it's coming out next year and they're going to go with this whole cycle of announce it at E3 the year before it comes out, are we then going to say maybe they move the release window like early in the year, not stick to this October window?
Which I'm very down for. I'd like Assassin's Creed to be in a part of the year where there's not much around it. Because Assassin's Creed, for me, because I enjoy history, is a game that I'd like to put time into and dig through and explore a bit more. But when it's coming out in October, when there's every other freaking game and its dog around...
Oh, the Battlefields, Call of Duties, Mario last year, whatever the fuck else was out like in that couple months period.
Yeah, and you just don't get time to sit down and play an open world. Like, especially the size of Origins, that game was freaking massive. There was no way I was going to get enough time to put into that before something else came out. So I'd really like it if they are changing up their release window. That would be really awesome.
Yeah. I would. I'm going to say this is a fake one.
You're going to say this is a fake one? Are
Yeah,
you just
simply
thinking
because-
that Walmart are just kind of somebody at Walmart's just be like, yeah, there'll be an Assassin's Creed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think some of these are real. I think some of them are fake. And you can tell some of them are fake. Like the one I haven't. So skip ahead to one. Forza Horizons 5. What is the problem with this?
There's only Forza Horizon. There's only been like 2, hasn't there?
Yeah, 2 or 3.
2 or 3.
So there's a listing for 5.
There's not been 4 of them yet. No.
Correct. So that one is not real. We can just knock that one out. So if that one's not real, then let's assume there can be mistakes along other things in here as well. So my vote is Assassin's Creed is not real. I'm gonna stand by and hope that they're gonna stick to not talking about it, talk about a bunch of other shit, and then next year Assassin's Creed out again in October.
Yeah, that's fair.
The usual.
I like that idea.
I reckon it's real.
I'm gonna go
the
with
next
fake,
one.
just to be safe.
Just Cause 4.
Don't care.
Why does this game keep getting freaking why does it keep getting sequels?
I think it's real because I think Square Enix needs stuff to show at their conference, and they don't really have a lot of stuff.
Like, how does this game? Just Cause 1 was awesome, was so much fun, but who keeps buying them? God damn
The people that make the gifts on the onlines,
I
where they
knew a
strap
lot of
fucking
people.
rockets to cows and stuff.
Yeah, I knew someone who. That was the game he was most excited for. Oh yeah, Just Cause 3. That is
Really?
his game. That was all he was excited for. And then that's all he would do for like months. Just strap rockets to shit and like post videos online and laughing his ass off at how he could shoot a cow in this direction and have it like, like that was just clicked. I don't know. Something about that franchise clicked. But this is one I would be like, why is this here? Why is this a thing? Then Square Enix conference. Oh, okay. Yeah,
it's real. It's real because I don't think anybody would put anything fake about it. And let's be honest, like it feels like Just Cause is now the Fast and Furious of the gaming world. So let's just accept it for what it is.
I also think it's real too because I don't think anyone at Walmart that's coming up with titles that's like right on the bottom of the barrel of titles to pick from.
If I was doing it and I wanted to get fired or risk getting fired, I'd be putting in shit like Golden Sun 4 and like what? really, really weird, obscure shit that people would freak out if they saw.
Persona 6.
Final Fantasy 7 Part 1.
Death Stranding.
Just stick Death Stranding in. People lose their fucking minds. So Just Cause 4 release date. I'm gonna presume that they're trying to release it.
I'm gonna say 2018.
This holiday season. I'm gonna say this holiday
2018
season. Yeah.
because
It's been a while since the last one.
It'll come out it'll come out like September, and it'll die horribly.
it's also like what games do you like? Just Cause isn't a game you want to build up anticipation for. It's
Do you
just
stick
kinda
it out versus Spyro Collection?
Coming out the
maybe?
same day as Red Dead.
As
Ugh.
Red Dead. Fuck no.
Oh, put it in a
I mean,
coffin already.
I wouldn't
can
put it
get in
past
there-
Square Enix.
Get in there end of September, maybe. I don't know. And then they've got like the Kingdom Hearts thing, which is probably coming out.
Just Cause
Around that
3
time.
come out the 1st of December 2015, so it's not beyond saying it'll be the same time.
Okay. Well, you could. That's another way to go about it. You stick it towards December. Yeah, all right. That's not. Yeah.
Some parents going into a game store to buy a late Christmas present and they get conned into buying Just Cause.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say it's somewhere around there. It's definitely not announcing it for next year. All right, next one. Splinter Cell.
Real.
Yeah, this is definitely real.
Especially
Definitely
after the Sam Fisher thing they did for
Ghost Recon.
Wildlands, because they wouldn't get Michael Ironside in to record a handful of
No.
lines.
No.
Someone who got the prediction? Do you remember, Kieran?
I think
who
it was
actually said
me or Ash.
Yeah, I don't know. I
It
swear
was
all
one of us.
had
I
it written
remember.
down.
No, I think you. I don't want to
don't
commit
remember.
and say it was me.
One of us had it officially down, and so it's going to be a easy
It's gonna
point. I
be,
feel
yeah,
like.
points.
And the most thing that's got me most excited about it is that it's Michael Ironside again, not that other voice actor.
I'm not a huge Splinter Cell fan. I've played 2 of them. I enjoyed them. Well, I played Chaos Theory and whatever the double agent, whatever. Fucking
Yeah.
one was.
I loved all the early Splinter spells. I didn't mind Conviction was where it started to go weird
Yeah, where he was
think I
on the
played
run
half
or
of that,
whatever.
maybe.
Yeah.
because he didn't
PC.
have he didn't have the goggles anymore
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
But I loved Chaos Theory. Chaos Theory was freaking
About
awesome.
that clip, also about that clip that gets around on fucking a bit from
It's such a
Wildlands.
good
That
clip.
hit me right in the feels.
I know. That's the funny thing because I don't have such a strong connection to whatever his name is, Sam, whatever the fuck.
Sam Fisher.
Sam Fisher.
Sam Fisher. I don't have a strong connection to that character, but for some reason when he delivered the line of "I heard the one's I heard the one's gone,"
I'm the only one left.
the way he delivers that line, "I'm the only one left," then or whatever. It was like, oh, dude, my heart,
And they've also had the history of fucking playing off each other,
Yeah.
referencing each other and stuff like that.
I was like, that is some sad shit. So yeah, I mean, after that Ghost Recon thing, this is just 100% lock in. When do you think it's coming out?
2019 normal gaming, September, October.
No, I'd say this year
Holy shit!
That would be huge if it is.
because they had. How long has it been since they put out a Tom Clancy game? It would have been Wildlands, and that was
last.
I think it was the year
Last
before
year, wasn't
last.
No, Wildlands
No, it was
last
last year. Yeah, it was last year.
because they're still
No.
updating that crap.
Yeah, it was out last year. That was their.
I think
their-
if
their
anything,
game
if they're
for
going
last
to
year.
release anything randomly this year, I think the Division 2 will be this year.
Really,
Yeah, I think so.
No.
maybe.
Our divisions. They
Actually, would they
Division
release
2 has
Division
been
up against?
well, Wildlands was March last year, so it's not beyond the realm of possibility they do the same time period, time window
Yeah.
for for Splinter Cell.
I could see Division 2 getting a trailer in Ubisoft's conference for
Yeah.
early
Yeah.
2019.
Oh, I think it's definitely going to be there. The Division's definitely going to be at the.
I mean, it's a
conference.
thing. We know it's a thing.
Yeah,
but they
they've
haven't,
come out
like-
and said they're doing it,
Yeah, yeah.
and they've also said stay tuned E3. So
Yeah. When this comes out though is up in the air. I feel like if they're going to stick that in March, it's either show this off. But here's the thing: if they're going to try and stick this out late next year, then you're showing it off and announcing it this year. Then you're going for a 2E3 thing.
Yeah,
Which is
that's
this a
true.
game that you show twice?
I reckon they could. I
Maybe.
think it's
I
got the
reckon they
prestige
could
to do it.
for Splinter Cell.
Yeah, all right. Then I'll say it's coming out late. I say late 2019 then.
Even though we're all expecting it, how awesome would it be for the end of this conference? They do the old everything cuts to black as the end of the show, and then the 3 green lights appear on the screen. That'd be pretty freaking cool.
And that's all. I reckon that would be a way to tease it to the end of next year. Just at the end, have the 3 lights
Yeah,
and have 2019, and then that.
Like if they go to Fade, and I would much rather it be someone on stage just for a second. It doesn't need to do anything. It's just all the lights cut out, and then you see someone at the back just pull the goggles on over the top of the head because you'd actually see the motion of them come down, go to the head,
Yep.
and then they zoom in, and then it goes to the trailer. But just to have that would be a way
Yeah.
cooler than just the animated
Yeah.
Yeah.
thing. I'm
Yeah.
oh, that would be cool. That would be really, really cool. Either way, we're seeing it. Yeah, and I'll say late 2019, just because I feel like it's.
I think it's a
I just
game
don't
that
see
has
it this year.
It
Don't
holds
feel it
enough
in my balls.
weight. I think it holds enough weight that it can appear in that September October period. Do you want to put it in the same September October period as the games we currently have coming out this September October? Maybe not. Just keep it for next year.
Plus, I think too the thing going for it is that it doesn't really have any competition anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Poor Metal Gear fans.
poor Metal Gear.
Poor Metal
Stop it.
Gear.
Gears of War 5.
Thank you.
Whoop, whoop. I think that's. I don't want to commit. I hope it is because the last game ended on a cliffhanger, so it's totally going to be.
Look, it's going to be there because
Coming.
Microsoft doesn't have anything else.
No, Microsoft's going to have lots. Did you hear my
Yeah,
predictions
yeah.
last week?
No, I don't listen to episodes I'm not on.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
He doesn't listen to episodes he's on either, so work that one out.
I've only listened to one episode.
No,
of Thornton.
I'm going to say that's fake.
You're going to say this is fake.
Nah, it's real.
This is real.
I'm going to say
This
it's
is
fake.
real,
I'm
this
gonna
is
talk
this
myself
year.
into not believing that it's true.
You're so weird. You're like, Microsoft has all these fucking games coming out this year, blah, blah, blah. Sees leak for Gears of War 5. Nah.
I don't want to get my hopes
They've
up.
only got 3 existing IPs, so this has to be one of them to fit
might
into your
just-
prediction.
You're making
No,
it so much
it's-
harder for yourself.
No, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna come out. No, it's real. Next year.
Next year?
Next year? I don't think it's coming out this
What does Microsoft have this year?
Nothing! State of Decay 2! Sea of Thieves!
Sea of Thieves, you can do one thing in the game now.
Crackdown 3 is going to randomly
Crackdown
appear.
3 is never coming out. It's going to exist in the cloud, and that's where it'll stay.
No, it's coming December. November.
I'm going to say Gears of War 5 is real, and it's coming, I don't know, September. Sure.
Sure.
Chuck that at September. Fuck
Put that in. September. This September.
Yes.
That's pretty awesome. I'd be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, you would, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'd be pretty fucking happy.
Remember, just to put it out there, we still haven't done it, but I did say, like, I got the first Gears of War. I did say one day we should stream it in co-op.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you got the Ultimate Edition? Is that the one you got?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll pencil it in for after your holiday.
Marcus Phoenix.
Yeah, Marcus Phoenix and Dom.
Never played one in my life.
You're gonna be full of
Marketing
testosterone.
done well.
You're
I know
gonna
his name.
You're gonna meet the Coltrane, baby. You're gonna meet Bad.
Whatever.
What a fantastic ride you're in for. Let's do it.
Bunch of people with small heads, no neck, and muscles.
Easiest character design ever. Do you know how
Chainsaw
hard
guns.
necks are?
Good
necks
job,
are
Cliff.
hard.
Good job, Cliffy. Lego DC villains.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Coming off the back of Suicide Squad and Harley Quinn loan announcements and stuff like that, I can see being in the works.
Yeah, makes sense to me. Where they'll come out at around December something,
Yes.
or late November, December.
Good old stocking stuffers.
Yeah, I'd play this one. I don't play old Lego games, but I'd be down for a villains based one simply because you always control the heroes in the storyline. And DC, I'm down. Get Mark Hamill to voice the Joker.
Nah,
Yes.
not happening. You know what? Consolation prize would be Troy Baker as the Joker. Consolation.
Jared Leto.
No.
Please no.
Shut up.
Please no.
No.
Just lock that one in. Dragon Quest 2. This is a weird one because
Is this
Dragon
a-
Quest 2 was released in like the 80s.
Is this Dragon Quest 2 or is this Dragon Quest 2 like the Builders one?
Heroes.
Heroes or Dragon
Which we
Quest
already
2
know is in
goes to
development?
get ramen or what is this?
You tell me, Ciaran. I'm just
don't
giving
know.
you what's written on the Walmart.
I don't
thing.
know. I don't know enough about these games to be like it's just confusing. There's lots of Dragon Quests with like the same looking character on each one and it confuses me. Yeah, sure, it's coming out.
I'm saying that's fake.
Is that a Square thing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it could be. But I'm just going to say it's
Nah, Dragon Quest
bullshit.
isn't done by Square, is it?
Yeah,
That's why I asked.
it is. Yes. Well, they're published by Square. Dragon Quest 2 is an era. It's really supposed to be Dragon Quest Heroes. Is my go.
Yes.
I reckon
That
it's
would
going to
make
be at
sense.
the Nintendo conference.
They'll next Vita game.
The next Vita game. Did you notice, by the way, callback, the PlayStation blog post, it says, look forward to showing more of our games off on the PS4, the PS4 Pro, and the PSVR. The PS4 Pro gets its own shout out. The Vita does not. They're like, it is gone.
They've locked
Forget
that
about
monster in the attic. It's not coming out.
And one to make fan of the show, friend of the show, Jane Pryor happy. Borderlands 3.
Oh, this will be good. This is coming out. Giving the Explosion Network stream key to the old Jaden Pryor and just be like, go stream, bud. Go stream to your heart's
That's
content.
legally how it works, but where would this be shown if they're announcing it at E3? Do you reckon? Whose conference would Randy Clifford, Pitchford. Sorry, I'm getting fucking two people confused. Randy Pitchford show up and be like, "Here's ballers."
the Hail Mary. That's what they call it in the football. Holy Mary, Hail Mary, whatever. Microsoft. I think it fits at Microsoft. I don't think it fits anywhere else.
I can't see PlayStation forking out the money for it, to be honest, because I don't think it's as big as what people think it is. Like, it has a very vocal fan base, but I don't think it's has that wide stream appeal.
I mean, if I had to guess a conference, it would be Xbox, simply because I don't see PlayStation caring to shove money at them. Yeah.
And that I won't watch the Microsoft conference, and I'll be very disappointed if Claptrap shows up in the PlayStation conference.
Don't you hate Claptrap?
Yes, I'll be disappointed if it shows up at the PlayStation conference.
Let me go full crazy theory. It's announced during the Nintendo Treehouse thing,
No.
and they announce it after saying that Claptrap is going to be a Smash Bros character.
No, that's crazy. I do not want to hear this. No.
Yes.
Bad, Dylan.
It's not crazy. They're showing Smash Brothers this year.
It's
You're open to
really
any games being
out
announced there and then tying characters into Smash Brothers. That's how it works now. That is how it works. I'm going to say Borderlands. Yeah, I'll say announced at Microsoft, and they just stick a 2019 tag on it.
Yeah, do it. If they drop it and be like, oh, by the way, it's out this year, I'd be like, what? Yeah. Like, I'd be pumped. You know, you got to catch a ride.
Catch a ride. All right. So now I did leave one off the list to bring up its own little thing because it's got a bit more to it. And that's because Bethesda has handled it like a pro.
They've done really well. They're
little
champs.
leak on the list.
Can Bethesda do anything wrong lately? Like recent years, Bethesda's like on the money with how to be a publisher. They're just
pretty
like, we got
much.
this.
So they went through a full marketing 180 spree with it, and it's for Rage 2. So Rage, if you don't know, was released in 2011, made by id Software, published by Bethesda, and was put out on PS3, Xbox, and Windows to moderately good reviews. The PS3 version, which I checked the Metacritic, is currently sitting at an 81. I do believe a lot of people may have not heard of this game or simply missed it, though. It was, interestingly, the last game made by John Cormack at the head of id, and it's a FPS apocalyptic shooter that most people like to describe as the Mad Max game before we actually got the Mad Max game that we got 2 years ago.
Max, yeah.
Yeah. Now, the summary, to give listeners an idea of what the game is, I went to the Steam webpage, let to get a little bit of synopsis, a little bit of information about Rage to read out. Here's what the game is. Here is, quote, what Steam describes the game as. This is what they're selling. Here it is. Powered by id's revolutionary 8-Tech 5 technology, Rage is an intense first-person shooter with breakneck vehicle combat, an expansive world to explore, and jaw-dropping graphics, which best exemplifies my feelings on the game's bigger focus on its tech than its story or character. I then had to go to Wikipedia to get a synopsis description of its fucking story, which apparently id or Bethesda didn't give any two shits about. So what Wikipedia says is, in 2135, former US Marine Nicholas Rain emerges from an underground shelter called an Ark, 106 years after being put into stasis. These underground shelters are the direct result of the Eden Project, a massive international undertaking in which hundreds of Arks containing cryogenic pods were sealed under the surface of Earth in order to preserve enough of the human population to rebuild civilization. Rain enters the surface, where he is immediately attacked by bandits, but is saved by Dan Hager, a local wasteland settler who brings Rain to his big settlement. You then get given guns, find out he has superhuman-like abilities, and shoot a whole bunch of fucking people in glorious fashion. I played Rage. I never finished it. I found it boring. The characters were shit, and the story was going nowhere or was barely existent.
John Goodman was in it.
He was. That's
Worth the price alone.
So you can kind of get from just how I pointed out that the Steam description is focused. This is my biggest problem with the game when it released.
It reminds
I'm like,
me. It reminds me a lot of Crisis, where it was focused all on the technical side
Yes.
and not the game itself.
It's like our game's really pretty, it plays really well, except it crashed a lot for me, and I was playing on PS3, so maybe that's just a PS3 issue. I have no idea.
I'd put
That's
money on that.
plausible. But it crashed a lot when I played it. I got bored very fast, and I just didn't find any of the characters or the story interesting enough to drag me along, even though the combat was cool, but I was finding it to get very repetitive. Who of yous have played Rage? Actual thoughts apart from John Goodman, please, Nick.
I really enjoyed it. Like, the plot was basic, but the gunplay was tight, and just the AI
It's an
was
id game. It's like
yeah.
id gunplay.
Yeah, it was very much id, but it was cool. It was fresh. Like, we never really gotten anything kind of like that. I mean, Fallout maybe, but I don't think Fallout 3 was out at that time, or it was around the same time.
Fallout 3 was out before that.
Yeah,
What
it
year
like
was Fallout
a couple
3 out?
years.
Fallout 3 was
2009?
Oh, was it? Okay, yeah. Were they owned by Bethesda at that point?
Were Bethesda
id.
Bethesda pop? Yeah. I don't know if they owned, but they published it.
Yeah.
I would have to check if they brought them or whatever.
Yeah, but like, I don't think it got as much praise as it deserved, but it also, yeah, I don't know. Like, I really enjoyed it. It has a soft spot for me, but I can understand the criticisms about it as well.
Did you play it, Ciaran?
I did not, but Rage is one of those games, and I think everybody has them, that you can perfectly describe the box art for them because you just like.
Go on
it's
then,
just
give
one
it
of
a go.
those- So
Orange.
it's got like it's like the orangey yellow, like almost like a sandy desert. It's got Rage across the front of it with the anarchy symbol as the A, and it has like the guy, like a typical like sand bandity kind of person on the front of it. I believe.
I'll tell you what it looked like. Every other box art for 90% of the games being released in 2010 to 2012.
Yeah, but it was just one of those games that I always saw, like when you go into an EB Games or you go, it's always like, at the front of the pre-owned section or just randomly on the shelf. And like they have those games. It's interesting that people call it the Mad Max. Like people call it a Mad Max game before Mad Max came out because Mad Max is a very similar game that everybody who played it loved it, but it didn't get massive numbers of, sales. And it just kind of sat there on the shelf that everybody could see. Like, there was always a copy of Mad Max you could pick
I'll
up.
tell you why I liked Mad Max better than this. It had way cooler car stuff, like the car combat and the thrill of chasing down a convoy and taking it down in that game was more exciting than the repetitive first-person shooter gameplay from Rage. It didn't have the same gameplay loop that I enjoyed, and Mad Max kind of got that open world, go here, clear out section. It says 100% clear with a little tick, and your brain goes, ooh. On to the next section, 80% clear, got to find that one little object that I haven't got. Like it had a gameplay loop to get into your brain if that's the kind of thing you like doing, which I do. Rage was a very empty world. It honestly felt, from memory, it felt it didn't feel complete. Like you tried. It's an open world game, and you had a car or a bike. Do you remember what was it?
It was like a buggy type thing.
Yeah, so you did have a car, but you would basically drive in this open world type section from basically level to level, and it was like you're driving through a loading screen to get to the next level. It never seemed like there was anything to do around or any point. There was nothing to see. You wouldn't bump into random characters, or you wouldn't
The
run
world
into
didn't
other
feel lived in. The world,
it felt dead. Which I mean, it was a dead world. Made sense, I guess, but it wasn't fun to play.
Yep.
To me.
Okay.
With all that said, the gunplay and all that stuff was good. It just wasn't used very well. That's just id. I remember when it won like Best of Show at E3 2 times a year by IGN and a bunch of other places at the time. I remember like 2 years in a row before it released. Best game of show came out. Everyone was kind of like, it's good, but like playing it in those short half-hour bursts, you didn't get to find the faults outside of E3 as they did when they got the full release.
Yeah. So it demoed really well, but it didn't actually.
Yeah. So with all that said, what would you like from Rage 2, Nick, because this is 99.9% what we're getting. They're not even trying to hide it at this point. They're pretty much announcing it.
Did you see the trailer that was leaked?
Oh, well, there was a leaked trailer.
Yeah, it was a little
already?
15-second like trailer thing that was leaked. It had live action, but it was like desert bandits, mutants, very, very colourful and vibrant, like pinks and sprays everywhere and shit like that.
Yeah, that is worth pointing out before getting into it. The marketing campaign that they've done so far in this is like on their Instagram page, they kept putting up all these random different pictures and they had like pink spray across it. But when they put up the last one today, when you looked at the full picture, it just had the anarchy symbol connected across all the pictures.
Yeah.
With
Did
the pink
is that
spray
one of
paint.
the things that I saw, like somebody's like moldy teeth, but it had 2 numbers in the teeth?
Yeah,
that
it
were,
was
like,
the
in
date.
pink?
It was the 15th or the 5th, which
That's
is...
when the trailer's coming out.
Yes.
And then they put out on Twitter today, the Rage Twitter literally just said like C dot blah 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 trailer access Monday. It's like they're just like they're not even trying to hide it at this point.
I honestly can see it being kind of like an anthology, like having the same title and the same kind of mechanics, but it being something different again.
Do you think it's called Rage 2 or just like Rage semicolon or like
Yeah, I don't know.
Rage,
I reckon they could reboot Rage because I don't think it has
a fan base?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think it does either. No.
And I don't think anyone will get mad over it either.
No.
Rage.
It's like people that
with-
like the game don't care.
Yeah.
Rage with. No, what's the opposite of with? Against. Rage against.
Don't say the machine.
Oh, the machine. Rage against the machine. What a great name. What a fantastic name. They
So I
could
put
be
up
like-
on the Platt Twitter account today because it's obviously the kind of go-to question. Is it going to be a single player game? Is it going to be a single player
it
game with
gonna
a
be
multiplayer
Borderlands?
component? Or is it going to be a shared world Destiny-like experience?
I reckon it's single player. Because that's what Bethesda's known for now.
Yeah, I don't see them breaking that. Especially after last year with all the fake trailers like, we love single player games. And
Exactly. Plus, I think they won't do an open world persistent type thing because it's a lot more cost sunk involved to keep it going, like keeping the servers running and all that. And they
got
might be forced or feel like the need to put in microtransactions, which would be just in this day and age like fucking sending your game to death.
Yeah. Well, if we're gonna go with the rumor mill of Borderlands 3 being a Destiny type thing, which would make sense to me because I believe they would just give in to making the game like that.
Yeah.
Then you got Destiny still out, of course. Then you have the Division 2. Then you've got Anthem and whatever the fuck else, the Avengers game.
It's oversaturated.
The Avengers game.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a shared world.
Oh,
Is
is
it
it?
really?
Yeah.
Marvel Heroes 3D.
Yeah. Basically.
City of Heroes. City of Villains.
I'm excited to hear more about this because even though I wasn't a big fan of the first game, it's a cool premise, interesting, post-apocalyptic stuff interests me. Obviously, like the Mad Max type stuff. I love Mad Max World and all that sort of stuff. Going around in cars and whatever else. If they get everything, it's just like fix everything that was in the first game. Fill it with a bit more stuff to do, action. Don't go full crazy. Don't go like Borderlands comedic level type silliness. But just a little bit above complete. This game is making me depressed playing it. Like
I want Beyond
It has to do
Thunderdome the
something-
game.
It has to do something that makes it very different from Fallout as well, that Bethesda already publishes as well.
Yeah, because it is very similar. The arcs, coming in, the arcs.
Yeah.
Fucking, yeah.
Well, spoilers for the first game because no one cares. I looked up what happened at the end because I obviously never finished it. So at the end of the first game, you open up all the other arcs where everyone else would have been cryo-slept, and then the game just finishes there.
Ah, okay. Sounds like
So it's like, the other people are out now, so there's more people in the world or whatever, I guess, is the idea.
Yeah, fair enough. It's interesting. It kind of starts answering the question because the big question we had last week was, what the fuck are Bethesda showing this year? So it starts like answering that question and showing that, hey, Bethesda's coming to the table with a couple bits and bobs, which is
Do you reckon they're showing Elder Scrolls?
Yeah,
I hope so.
Expansion
I
pack.
desperately hope. No, fuck off. I desperately.
They will show that though. You're laughing.
They will.
But
They
gonna
will.
show it.
That's why I'm telling you to fuck off. No, I want them to show a proper Elder Scrolls game. Like I desperately want.
I reckon they hold off another year.
I
Nah.
haven't put 20 hours into
Nah.
Legends.
I need to. Have you really?
Yeah. I have.
That's pretty cool. No, I want. Give me your next Elder Scrolls game for me to buy 5 or 6 times. Come on, Bethesda. You want my money?
I told you, Skyrim is coming to the Nokia 3800, Kieran. It's not out there yet. It's not out on the 3DS. We've got consoles left.
The Skyrim. The 3DS.
Why make a new game when you can start porting Skyrim everywhere, and then they'll start porting Fallout 4 everywhere before making anything else?
Ugh.
I hope not.
Oh, they're totally announcing Fallout 4 on the Switch this year.
Most likely.
Oh, they're totally doing that. Okay.
That's like a quick announcement, though.
Yeah, that's quick. Hey, by the way, Fallout 4 is coming to
Yeah,
Switch.
by the way. Yeah.
Be there.
I don't think it will.
And it might be at Nintendo's fucking thing anyway. But I
Yeah,
presume
fair.
that's a thing. All right. Head towards wrapping up the show. Let's jump into hashtag every trophy counts. Shout out to Tacoma, which did in fact get a platinum. Good job, Steve Gaynor.
Good job.
Apparently it takes like an hour if you want to use a walkthrough.
Ooh.
Although I would suggest playing the game the first time without a walkthrough, like I did when I played it
agree.
on Xbox, because you kind of, if you use the walkthrough for that game to get the platinum, which I could if I wanted to buy it because I've beat it already, that's fine. If you use a walkthrough for it, you're just going to miss the whole idea of that game. The whole point of it is to walk around, explore, listen to people, find random objects. You don't know what you're doing. It's like Gone Home, explore, see what you can figure out. So as much as I love platinums, play for it once. It'll take you a couple hours yourself, and then do your speed run for the platinum. Then in the new segment, which Michael's called, Michael chucked in the name Plat Planners, which I like, for the platinum you need to get to add to your collection. The first one we added a couple weeks ago when I did it the first time was, of course, Terminator Salvation, which I said wasn't a very easy platinum.
SOCOM Confrontation.
Nope. I believe that's like a 9 on the difficulty scale and not possible anymore, so it's a 10. This week, I'm going to chuck in to the plat you all need to get is the one I most recently got called Inksplosion. And the reason I'm chucking this on the list is because its platinum name amused me a hell of a lot when I found out the name of the platinum is Platinum Explosion.
Oh no way!
Yes.
We need to talk to them and be like, excuse me. That's the name of our podcast. You can't use that. Or at least put a Bevan as the image for the
As the image?
as the image.
So, yeah, if you're listening to this show, you're listening to Platinum Explosion, you owe it to yourself to get the platinum. That'll take you... you could get it in 10 minutes if you're better than me. It took me half an hour. It's a twin-stick shooter. You shoot little machine bot things, they explode, ink comes out of them. All you have to do is, in classic mode, get to level 10, get a score of 100,000. Not hard. Once you've done that, you exit out, you go into arena mode. Kill 100 enemies. Not hard. Exit out of that, go into hard mode, kill 1 enemy, platinum. Like, I didn't even have to look at anything, and I remembered everything you had to do to get the platinum.
Nice.
You can do it in 10 minutes, but as I said, I wasn't great at it for some reason. I found it really hard to keep track of the enemies because like the ink would constantly explode out of them and the background was changing and my eyes was having trouble like locking on to the objects because the background was constantly changing. So, but it still only took me half an hour, so it's not very long. And you get the platinum called Platinum Explosion, which is now the #1 platinum ever.
On the PlayStation.
Like, it can't be beat. You can't get better than the platinum name Platinum Explosion. It's the best one. All right. Thank you for joining us this week. Ciaran, if people want to yell at you about how Xbox is not getting any games this year, where can they do that?
People can come do that at your boy Ringo on the Twitters, or if you want to do it live and see my heart break in front of your eyes on twitch.tv/Explosion Network.
And Nick, if people want to tell you about how much they love Rage and talk some fanfic, where could they do that?
You can see me at Anger Management.
Is Jack Nicholson your
I was going to
your
say,
teacher?
or isn't anger management also the Charlie Sheen thing? That was
Only if you're a millennial. I grew up
okay,
with
fair
Jack Nicholson being
No, I
the
know
guy.
both. I was just also saying that there's the other one where you could be Charlie Sheen.
But no one wants to be Charlie Sheen. You can follow me on Twitter at Viva La Deal. That was a very good pregnant pause, by the way. You can follow me on Twitter at Viva La Deal, VIVALADIL. You can follow this show, Platinum Explosion, by heading on over to Twitter and following Plat Podcast. You can check out explosionnetwork.com, of which this is a product of, and you can check out the Twitter for that at Explosion Network. It's a Twitter. You follow them. Explosion Pod, sorry. It's a Twitter. You follow them. You get all of them.
Also, as our army, please tweet at whoever the hell's got Platpod. Tell them
Yeah,
to
yeah.
give it to us.
I need. It's Plat Podcast, Explosion Pod. It jumbles in my mind, and I'm very, very, very sorry. It's hard. It's hard sometimes, and we're recording another things after this, and I'm trying to get my mind ready. I'm like, what am I doing in the thing I'm recording after this? My mind's already into the next fucking show, so we better wrap this one up. Thank you for joining us this week. If you've got any hot E3 tips, don't forget to mail them at platinum@explosionnetwork.com. That's an email address, or you just tweet them at the Plat Podcast Twitter, which is the correct one. Just 100% lock that in. Thank you for joining us. Until next week. Bye-bye.
Hello, it's Ciaran here from the Explosion Network, and this be your ad read from May 2018. If you're a fan of top 10 lists, then boy oh boy do we have a show for you that does just as well as BuzzFeed, WatchMojo, IGN, or anywhere bloody else, to be perfectly honest, but in about half the time. Top 5 with Nick is currently airing in its first season, and the season's theme is video games. We love video games here at the Explosion Network. Join Nick and 2 guests every fortnight as they break down topics like launch games, gaming peripherals, and first-person shooters. Explosion Network's bulletin board. Older on Explosion is back this month. Join Dylan and guests for 3 episodes from May 11th in lead up to Solo. Oh, it's coming! It's so close! If you're watching Westworld Season 2 at the moment, make sure you follow us over at twitch.tv/Explosion Network for Bevanworld. Our weekly recap and discussion about Westworld. Find it all on our Twitch channel, and once again, twitch.tv/Explosion Network, or over at our YouTube, youtube.com/Explosion Network. Have a fantastic May. Charlie Sheen's really not that bad.
He's got AIDS, I hear.
Really?